Hello, everyone. Okay, yes, we're live. Yes. I never know when we're going live, but it's great. Thank you so much for being here, those of you who are attending live, and if you're watching the replay, so thank you so much for being here too. Today, this is a really interesting topic, and I really like working with women in general and especially obviously Latinas because I'm a Latina. So this is a really interesting topic. It is English challenges for Latinas, and I have Elvi Caperonis here to tell us more about this, experience of being a Spanish native speaker, working for international companies, etc. Elvi is a technical program manager in Amazon, and she helps people land their dream job, which is amazing. I absolutely admire that. So, Elvi, thank you so much for being here. We couldn't make it just on Friday, but here we are. So, tell my community about you, what you do, who you are, where you work, etc.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me, Gabby. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. I am originally from the Dominican Republic. I am a Latina in tech, like you pointed out.
Yes.
I am. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, why Latina in tech? Obviously, this is a really common expression, but for people who do not know about that, what does that mean? What is it to be a Latina in tech?
Latina in tech, it means that you come from Latin America, you face all the challenges that we face in Latin America. You work in the tech industry, which is a challenging
Mm-hmm.
industry. It
Yes.
is typically considered for men, and we are
Yes.
women here trying to break that ceiling,
Yes.
saying that we can do this. We
I
face
love it.
the English barrier, we face the tech barrier because we have to work really hard to master our careers, and we also have to work
Mm-hmm.
really hard to master English.
Yes. Okay, you're saying, I mean, this is beautiful. I love it because, and I always tell this to my students and, my community because it's not only about being a woman, in corporate, which is already hard and it's already difficult, right? But it's being a woman who's a Latina, right? And is obviously a non-native speaker. So it's like there is the women glass ceiling, right? But then you have
Exactly.
an extra layer by not being a native speaker, right? And then
Absolutely.
you have the technical challenges and you have the language challenges. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It has a very different flavor for us to add the component. You are a woman in tech, but on top of that, you are Latina. English is not your first language. And you first need to master English before you master the concepts of your career in English. So
Absolutely,
keep
right? It's like,
challenging.
yeah, you have to learn everything twice. Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So look at this. I'm going to share some slides and we're going to talk about these realities. Okay. Because probably people who are here, they really don't know the reality that women face in corporate, in American companies, or in general, right? So I'm going to share some slides and then you give me your ideas on it. Okay. So, first of all, there are some realities that women face, especially Latina women. Now, one of them is this: Latinas face judgment from family if they put their careers ahead of family. Almost 70% of working Latinas surveyed in 2018, studied by people in Español, the magazine, feel pressure by cultural expectations rooted in their heritage to get married and start a family within a certain time period in their lives. So it's like if you're Latina, you have to, like build your family and have your children and work is, like not a priority, but it's like, complementary.
Definitely something that we all face, especially coming from a culture that the expectations are that you're gonna be a mom full time. The expectation is that you are gonna get married and take care of your kids. However, for us that also decided to have a career before getting married and having
Yes.
kids, is not the common situation.
Mm-hmm.
Is very uncommon.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. And what about, well, we're not talking about that here in the slides, but what about the pressure that women feel? I mean, Latina women with their families and stuff, and then they are also working in corporate, and then they have this pressure of being a good mom and being a good professional. And if you're not a good professional, it's because you're prioritizing your family, or if you're not a good, mom, is because you're prioritizing your career. It is hard, right, to balance both.
It is extremely challenging to be a mom, a working mom, and in a different country with a different language and in an industry that is that's reconcilably for men. It's triple
Mhm.
challenging, I would say. The expectations are, like I said, our family are expecting from us that we are gonna be a mom full time, but this is not what happens. We need to balance our work. We need to balance taking care of our kids. We have a life on top
Yes.
of the workplace, so it's extremely challenging. But for us, we're truly hard workers. We make it happen. Despite of all these challenges, we make it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amazing. Okay, now, I don't know, can you see my screen? Yes, right? Now, I don't know if you can see the slides. Here I have, okay, reality two. Latina employees are paid less than every other race or gender in the United States. The average woman earns 80 cents and Latinas 53 cents on the dollar paid to a man. So a man receives $1, and from that dollar, I mean, women in comparison receive 53 cents. Low pay, the glass ceiling, and their higher education and skills may be pushing Latinas to start their own businesses. What do you think about it?
This is very interesting because I believe that the number one reason that this is happening is because we are afraid to negotiating our salaries. Once we receive an offer as women, Latina in tech, you believe like there is so much competition that you don't feel like you want to negotiate your offer because you believe that they may think bad about you or they
Yes.
may not give you the offer at the end, and you ended up accepting less money than actually you're worth. This is a reality for women in general, but for Latinas we also have the English barrier.
I know. I
So
right.
we undervalue ourselves for that reason.
Yes, right. And that makes no sense. First of all, it's like you are a professional, and you have all the skills, right? Probably we cannot communicate effectively, but you have the skills, right? Now
Exactly.
it is said, yeah, go ahead.
And if you get the job offer, this means that they already know that you can add a lot of value to their company. So
Yes.
the number one mistake that women make, especially Latinas, is not trying to negotiate their salary when they get a job.
Absolutely. We are scared, right? I mean, women are scared. I mean, women in general are scared. There are some percentages, I don't remember it now, right now, that I have shared before, in which men, I mean, 90% of men apply to jobs, even if they know they don't have, the requirements, right? And the skills. But then women, like, I don't know, 90% of women do not apply if they know they're lacking at least one of the requirements. It's like, oh no, this is not for me, I'm not ready, or English intermediate, advanced, no, this is not for me, I can't, so it
And
is
that
a
boils
reality.
down, sorry,
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
boils down to not having enough confidence.
Yes.
Women in general, we don't have enough confidence on ourselves. And that's the number one thing that I'm trying to teach people. The first person that you need to convince that you can do the job, that you can add a lot
Mm-hmm.
of value to any organization is yourself. You are the first person that you need to convince. If you don't convince yourself that you can add value to others, you cannot convince others at all.
Absolutely. I love it. I'm going to cut this part, and I'm going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and post it everywhere. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's a matter of confidence, but and people, I mean, and this is for English learners in general, whether a woman or a man. We pretend that we're going to start practicing English when we're ready, you know, and that's not the way it is. I mean, you have to start practicing and speaking even if you feel that you're not ready, right? Because
I
that's
was
what's
there.
yeah, that's what's going to give you the confidence, right?
Totally agree. Totally agree.
If you speak, you gain confidence, and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna speak, and if they like it, it's okay, and if they don't, whatever, right?
Yes, you just need to understand that this is a process where if you don't say something properly, you're going to learn from it. You just
Yes.
need to have the growth mindset, which is
Yeah.
challenging to understand that you are a human being, you can make mistakes, learn from them, and improve along the way.
Absolutely. I love it. Absolutely. Okay, excellent. You see, this is why speaking with other known natives is so important, because we've experienced, the same challenges and the same frustrations, right? Now,
Exactly.
what about reality? Well, these are some numbers that I was, like telling you about before regarding this, salary issues. The percentages of, pay quarterly, like all abroad occupational groups. In this case, Latinas is like 56%. In terms of management, business, and financial operation occupations, is like Latinas are in I don't know, 63%. And that's the reason is lack of confidence again, right?
Exactly.
On
Yes.
ourselves as professionals and as English communicators, right?
Absolutely. It's lack of confidence. Confidence changes everything. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that happened until I get again that confidence in me as a Latina in tech, um, as an as an immigrant, because I think that's the
Yes.
first thing that you need to overcome. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you get the imposter syndrome, like
Yes.
you feel like you're not good enough for that opportunity, and you
Mm-hmm.
have so much value within you to add. Like when you start adding value and realizing yourself that you have so much value to add, um
Yes.
it's like a little light like comes into your brain and say, oh, I can do A, B, and C, and I can add a lot of value by doing that. And if you say
Yes.
all the value that you can add in a way that you are telling facts, things that
Mm-hmm.
you have accomplished, you shouldn't feel like you are bragging about yourself, because you are telling a report of something that you can do. You should feel
Absolutely.
confident that you can do it for companies to believe that you can actually do it for them. You
Yeah.
need to believe
Yeah.
in yourself.
Absolutely. And bragging, it's okay. I think it's okay. I mean, if you have the skills and you know you can solve the problem, it's like, come on, guys, I can do this. You have to own it. We have to own it. Okay, awesome. I
Absolutely.
love it. Siraima, thank you so much, Elvi, for sharing with us your interesting story. Thank you, Siraima. Thanks to you for being here. Now, reality number three. And this is especially, and this is why I love to have you, because you are in tech. So it's not like any other industry, right? challenges are a bit bigger for women.
That's
So this
correct.
is reality number three. Latinas face barriers to promotion in male-dominated work environments.
That is absolutely right. First of all, we lack of confidence to brag about ourselves, because if you don't brag about yourself, like, if you don't tell your accomplishments, nobody knows about them. You may think like your manager will know them, but if you don't tell your accomplishments, your manager may forget. He or she
Yes.
manages way a lot more people than only yourself, and they don't keep track of what everybody brings to the table. Some of them do, but not all of them do. So if you don't tell confidently all your accomplishments, it's like you're never gonna get that promotion. And men are they are very prone to tell their accomplishment. Every time all the time I see my coworkers, my male coworkers bragging about themselves, but it doesn't seem like they're bragging. It just seems like they
Mm-hmm.
actually, wow, they got it. But
Yeah.
people perceive it that way. It's all about perceptions. And when a woman does it, sometimes it gets perceived like she's bragging. But we, as women, are the only ones who can actually change that.
Yes. How can we change that? Let me just ask you, based on your experience, how
The
can
first
we
thing,
change that?
the first thing like we need to work on is confidence. The second thing is like, and once you work on your confidence yourself, like you know the value that you can add, and you are not afraid of telling others about the value that you can add. Once you gain confidence, the second thing that I will recommend is that when you see other women telling about their accomplishments, don't try to bring them down. Support the women.
Yes,
We need to be more supportive, Gabby,
I
because
love
I
that.
have faced in the workplace, my female coworkers don't support me as much as my male coworkers. And that's a shame, because as women, as immigrants, as Latinas in tech, or are any other women background in tech, immigrants in tech, we should support each other,
Mm-hmm.
regardless the boundaries, regardless our differences. Because if we don't support each other, we're never gonna change that. Instead of bringing me down, try to support me, and maybe your light is also gonna shine by supporting me. But bringing me down is not gonna help you succeed in life. And this is something that I have faced in the tech industry, that my female coworkers are not as supportive as I would love them to be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some of them are, and I believe this is changing in the right direction. But in the past, my experience is being like, they 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 feel like they're competing with you.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
love a phrase by Lisa Bailey. I hope I'm pronouncing her name. She
yes.
says that she's not your competition. She is the proof that it can be done. Learn from
Yes.
her. Learn from her. Support her. She's not
Mm-hmm.
competing with you. She's just working it out for herself. And it is working for her. It could work for you. Support her. The more we support each other, I think the more we are going to shine.
Yes, absolutely. If you shine, other people shine too, right? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, that's the reality. It's like there's no competition. Once I read also something like being in a room with more intelligent people or smarter people is not negative. I mean, it's so positive. You can learn so much from others and supporting others. You see, so I really love that. I absolutely appreciate that. Look at this. Latinas executives born in other countries say they had the added issue of not only having to learn English, but also learning to adapt to a foreign country while facing discrimination and judgment for simply being who they were. In effect, they were triple outsiders, women, Hispanic, and not born in the United States. Right?
I cannot relate more to this. I have felt like, I'm the proof living of all of this that is written
Yes.
there. I sometimes when you feel like you're underappreciated, undervalued, you're just being discriminated. against.
Yes.
And you cannot use that word in the workplace because it can be badly perceived or people may get
Mhm.
afraid that you may sue the company. But this is the way you feel. And I know that companies are working hard and everything is turning in the right direction in that regard. But the reality is that most of us feel that way. We
Yes.
feel like in my experience is being part of what I just mentioned before, women who are not that supportive. I've been discriminated for other women in the United States who haven't been so supportive because they are American. They don't know how hard it is for us to come into this country, how hard it is for us to learn English, how hard it is for us to adapt to the culture, to the American culture. And on top
Mhm.
of that, ace in your career. It is extremely challenging. And if you have it easier than me, support me, help me, because you are going to
Exactly.
shine too. You are going to shine too. But
Mhm.
some of my coworkers that I have had in the past were not so supporting in that regard. And it made you feel unwelcome. It made you feel
Mhm.
like singled out. It doesn't make you
Yes.
feel like you are part of it. And you also get the imposter syndrome. So this is a reality that we face in the workplace in America. And sometimes you don't feel like you want to speak up because you are afraid of
Mhm.
losing your job. And
Yes.
it is so sad that we don't talk to our managers about it. I believe companies are open to hearing that because they want to change that. And if you don't give senior leaders the opportunity to change the situation, it's never going to change. I
Yes.
believe we need to speak up.
Yep, absolutely. Raise our voices. Like I mean, we are worthy, of
Totally.
whatever. We are worthy of the hundred. We are worthy the $1 the man make. In the states, just as making the same amount of money of any other person, whether they are natives or non-natives, they are women, they are men, whatever. We're supposed to have the same opportunities. Let me read here. Ronald says, hello, I'm Andres. Is there any suggestions for adding value to the company or do an extra job? How can or could we ask for compensation? Okay, that's not the topic for today, but I'm going to put it here so we can talk about that later, right? This is really interesting, like adding extra value to the company where we work for. Um, uh, so
Absolutely.
yeah, we can absolutely talk about this. I don't know if you want to share anything, Elvi, about it. How can we
It's
could
up to
ask for
you. If you want to share anything about it, or me to share something.
No, yeah, I mean, regarding compensation, obviously it always depends on the kind of company where you work for. It depends how long have you been in this company. You have to, like support your reasons to ask for a pay raise or whatever, kind of compensation you're asking for. But I think we can talk about that later because it's like really general. And then we have Rosa. Now we have a recruitment for bilingual software programmers that unfortunately are difficult to find in Mexico because of English. They are good opportunities to work in any city of the country. That's great, Rosa. We're going to share that in our profiles, in my profile, so we can see if we can help some people, get those jobs. So, yep, Elvi. And then we have number 4. Latinas believe they must sacrifice their culture and identity in order to succeed in corporate America. If you want to move up, you have to be emotionless, put on a poker face, like no feelings, and speak in one tone. So said a Latin executive describing how her Latinaness is too much for her corporate culture. From gestures to attire, Latinas are told they are too colorful or too expressive and asked to tone it down. What do you think about it?
Yeah, the perception is that if you are kind, because most Latinas we try to be kind. If you are kind and empathetic, it means that you are weak. It means
Mhm.
that you are not strong enough, and it could be perceived like we need to change that. And sometimes our tone of voice could be really soft, and that could be perceived like you are not strong enough to hold
Yes.
senior position. This
Yes.
is, I believe, this is definitely something that we only can change by working really hard and demonstrating that this is not the case. Just because I'm kind, just because I am empathetic, that doesn't make me a weak person. That doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
me unqualified, and that doesn't make me unprofessional.
Right.
It's
Right.
all the opposite. It makes me human. It makes me a good people leader, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes me to show that I care.
Yes. Because you care, because you do care, right?
Exactly.
And that is so important. And that's why some, companies around the world have started noticing that people from Latin America are into, like, we have this tendency to help each other, and we have this tendency to collaborate, and like, whatever the situation or the problem is, we're always trying to solve the situation. So, but that's the way we are, like, Latin American people are like that. So why don't they, or I mean people in different, countries and companies, they should take advantage of that, right? Because that's what you need, soft skills. Soft skills are extremely important, right?
Totally agree. Totally agree with you. Soft skill, people skill, communication skills, being empathetic, showing
Yes,
that you care for others. You cannot be a good manager if you don't show empathy. You could be
absolutely.
probably a good boss, but not a good leader. And
Yes.
I believe all of these qualities that we show as Latinas make us actually good leaders. But to we have to embrace that. First of all, we have to embrace
Yes.
that. And second of all, we need to share it with the world openly without feeling.
Yes.
We need the confidence to do that, Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
And I am saying that from the bottom of my heart because I already went through it. And now I feel like I am at the point because a lot of companies are actually working to change that because we are talking about diversity and inclusion. Some
Mm-hmm.
companies are just talking but are not actually doing anything. But other big companies are actually working really hard to
Yes.
change that. And but we have to embrace it first.
I agree. I agree. We have to believe it, right? Like,
Exactly.
yes, yes. Dunia says, "Hi, Gabby and Elvi. Thanks for your words. To learn English and get better incomes is possible." It is. It is absolutely possible. It
Yeah,
is
totally
absolutely
agree.
possible. Hmm.
Totally agree.
Absolutely possible. Now, look at this. This is the last one. The last one in this list, but obviously there are more. Despite the challenges they face, Latinas, well, it's more like the way we approach the situation. Latinas are optimistic about their future and their careers. According to the People in Espanol study, today's Latinas are not conforming to cultural customs and gender roles as strictly as they once did, and they look to their Latino heritage to enhance their lives. It's like, this is who I am, this is what I come from, and I love it, right? And I
This is what
embrace
we
it.
have to embrace. We have to
Mm-hmm.
embrace and understand that this is who we are, and trying to change it is actually going to make you not to look real. You don't
Yes.
want to be fake, pretend like you are American. We are not
Yeah.
American. We are in America. We have to embrace the American culture, but without losing the values that we come from our own culture.
Yes.
And this is what
Especially.
makes us special and unique. So
Mm-hmm.
embracing that and having that confidence to share it with the world is something that I understand that takes time.
Yes.
But I am a pro living of this, and I am working really hard to help women and underrepresented minorities to boost their self-confidence at the workplace.
I
That's
love
why
it.
I'm on LinkedIn sharing content
Mm-hmm.
to help people understand that they have so much value within them.
Yes. And this is why you're here. I mean, I followed you and I was looking at your posts here and on Instagram. And I was like, this is what we need, in this kind of social media. This is what we need. People who pushes you, to motivates you, to give the best and to embrace who you are and where you come from. Now, this is the last major learning area. So these are
Thank
the
you.
like general areas that Latinas have to work on. So first of all, how to dress for business, depending on the kind of company they are working for. How to confidently speak and present, because we're not doing this in our native language. So you feel you're not as intelligent as you are in Spanish, right? It's like, if I could just say this the way I'm thinking about it in Spanish,
Exactly.
right? But that is confidence, okay? How much personal information to
That's
share? Sometimes
confidence.
we are too open.
Yes, that's a major one. That's a major one.
How and when to ask for help, how to highlight their achievement and
Very
accomplishments so they
important
are
one.
considered for promotions, and how to express interest in an upward career path. For some, learning the nuances of the English language as well as new customs and culture. And finally, navigating and representing personal space as Latina and non Hispanic cultures differs on this boundary. So, I mean, these are challenges, right? But it's okay, we have to embrace that and we have to make things work. We have to make things happen.
And these are challenges that are beyond the actual technical challenges that we face in our careers, because we are talking about women in tech, Latinas in tech.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And on top of all these barriers, you also have the barrier that you could be perceived like you are not tech savvy just because you are Latina
Yes.
and you are Spanish speaking.
Yes.
You're not you're not the normal, the typical stereotype
Mhm.
of a tech professional.
Yes. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Now, to conclude, tell us about you and how this, migrating process and looking for a job, finding a job, like all these challenges have, shaped who you are right now and the things that you're working now and how you're helping people now.
Very good question. I came here to this country without speaking a word of English. I thought I was gonna be able to have a conversation with people because I studied English before. But when I
Mm-hmm.
came in and I faced that they speak very fast. I couldn't understand a word, Gabby. It was really challenging at the beginning. I could just all smile and listen. I couldn't talk a lot, but I was able to listen, and little by little, I was comprehending. It all started by listening. I was listening all the time as much as I could until I was able to slowly start speaking. It is extremely challenging to come here and improve your English first, and then realizing that the job market is different than in Latin America. You need to prepare and master the job search process itself here in
Yes.
order to land a job. You need to you need to understand that you need to research the company. In our countries, it doesn't matter how much you know about the company. Can you do the
Mm-hmm.
job? If you can do the job and you can prove to them that you can do your job based on your experience, you get hired. But here, you need to research the company. You need
Yes.
to make sure you are a good fit for the company's culture. You need to master the interview process, and on top of that, you need to be the person they are looking for that given role. You need to be a good fit for the role. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe here, looking for a job is a full-time job.
Absolutely.
I highly recommend people to prepare and prepare and prepare and understand that this is a journey. This is not a
Yes.
sprint. This is a marathon. And you are going to face rejection no matter what. We all face
Yep.
rejection. Even American people, when they're looking for a job, they face rejections. You
Mm-hmm.
just all you need to do is learn from the rejection, try to get as much information as you can about why you got rejected, and improve along the way.
Absolutely.
Having that growth mindset, it will help you that if you don't get your job within the first few tries, little by little, you're gonna get improved and you're gonna get better over time. And one day you're gonna land the job you're looking for, but you need to understand that this is a process. For some people, it may take a few months. For others, it may take years. I highly recommend people to find a job that they can do on the side when they are looking for their dream job, because
Okay.
you need to pay bills. There is no way you
Absolutely.
can be only 100% looking for a job and not doing something else. But at the same time, you can start preparing for your dream job.
Yes.
And that's where I help people. I help
Abs-
people in getting ready for that dream job. And first of all, analyzing what they're looking for, what they are a good fit for, and what is their passion.
Okay.
Second, helping them understand the process and helping them boost their self-confidence. Third, practicing the job interview, because this is a
Yes.
challenging process here. And finally, I help people negotiating the offer and how to be successful within the first 90 days in the job.
I love that. I love that. So that is the whole, career path, right? The whole process.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, I just shared here in the comments, I shared the link to your profile. I shared the link to your Instagram. It has been amazing to have you. I hope we can, like go live again later. Um, because, I mean, that's a reality that we all face as English learners. But we always need somebody else to validate, the fact that it is possible, right?
Absolutely.
Looking another person who has gone through what you've been going through, and noticing and understanding that they could get there and they could, achieve whatever the goal is. I mean, it gives you motivation, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
yes, it is possible. So I don't know if you would like to share anything else before we go.
I just want to say that it is possible to find that job that you're looking for. All you need to have is, first of all, you need to build that confidence. You need to understand that this is a process. Like I cannot stress that enough. It depends. Everybody has their own journey, but I just want to tell everybody you can do this. If I was able to do it, you can do it too.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We did it. I mean, I didn't know how to speak English either. So it's like I had to learn, I had to practice. But something I learned is that we have to commit. I mean, if you want to get that dream job, you have to commit to it.
It's a
You have
process.
to commit to the process, right? There is another phrase that I like a lot that is trust the process. I mean, trust the process. It's not going to happen from one day to the other, but it will happen,
And
right?
believe in yourself. Trust the process and believe in
Yes.
yourself that you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Well, Elvia, thank you so much. It has been amazing to have you. So
Thank
motivating.
you.
I'm going to share this with everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it. And whenever we get a chance, we can jump, and go live again. I love
Thank
to.
you so much for inviting me, Gabby. It was a pleasure being here with you. Let's stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
Thanks to
everybody,
you.
for attending.
Absolutely. Thanks to you guys. If you have any questions after this or you're watching the replay, let us know in the comments. And thank you so much, Elvi. It has been a pleasure to have you.
Thank
Loved
you.
your experience and congratulations because you're killing it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank